It hangs in millions of African homes, in churches, in schools, in hospital waiting rooms. A man with pale skin, straight brown hair, and soft blue eyes. This the faithful are told is Jesus, the Son of God, the Savior of the world. And he looks exactly like the people who colonized you. This was not an accident. It was a strategy.
Then I looked up from the page one day and saw the author wasn't even in the room with me. They said the map was drawn by nature's hand, that some are born to rule and some to serve the land. They said the map was drawn by nature's hand, that some were born to rule and some to serve the land. But I took the map and held it to the light and saw the ink was fresh on the other side. Thank you for the light that broke in two. Thank you for the crack that let the light come through. I don't want the script I used to read. I'm just grateful that my eyes can finally see. Now I write my own lines with a steady hand. Every word is mine, I don't need to understand. Now I write my own lines with a steady hand. Every word is mine, I don't need to understand. The old book sits collecting dust on the shelf, and the story that I'm living is the story of myself. The script they gave me said I'd always be a servant. I read it again, then I closed the book. Thank you for the light.
Zongo is a stopping place where strangers came to stay.
The historical Jesus was not white. He was a first century Jewish man from Galilee. His skin was olive to brown. His hair was dark, likely woolly. His features were Semitic. He looked like a Palestinian Jew under Roman occupation. He looked like the people Western history has spent centuries dehumanizing. How did he become white? In stages. First the European Renaissance, when artists like Leonardo and Michelangelo reimagined biblical figures as Europeans. Then the colonial era, when missionaries carried the white Jesus into Africa as part of a colonial package. The portrait was not neutral. It was part of a machinery of conquest.
Any place they judge, Zongo blues, Zongo blues. Every soul misunderstood got a Zongo in its roots. I've been the place they said would never grow. Been the place they said would never grow. But I found it littered with gold where the dust lies. Zongo blues, Zongo blues. Every soul misunderstood got a Zongo in its roots. The stopping place that became a home. Don't weep for the Zongo. The gold hides in plain sight. They sold me a dream.
What does it do to a person to spend their entire life praying to a God who looks like the oppressor? The damage is not cosmetic, it is structural. Psychologically, the African child learns before they can articulate it that divinity is white,
By numbers, I think.
that holiness looks European, that their own body is further from God than the body of the colonizer.
You're a miracle.
Theologically, the white Jesus is a heresy. If the incarnation means anything, God became a particular human in a particular place with a particular
Just
body,
a mirror,
and that body was not white. A white Jesus denies the incarnation.
who I am.
Culturally, the white Jesus severed the African believer from their own spiritual heritage. Before the missionaries came, Africans knew the divine. The white Jesus did not introduce God to Africa. It introduced the foreign image of God.
Gauged worth and names in the palm of a hand. Now I chase a horror I don't understand. Money, money, you're a mirror, not a God. Money, money, just a mirror, not a God. You show me who I am when I hold you, or I don't. I've seen a rich man weep with a full bank account, and a poor woman sing with nothing to count. The ground doesn't ask for your balance, it just asks if you walked your own path. Money, money, just a mirror, not a god. Love me or let me go.
The Black Christ is not a distortion. It is a restoration.
Or let me go.
When the African believer depicts Jesus with dark skin, woolly hair, and African features, they are not making a political statement. They are making a theological one. They are affirming that the incarnation extends to them, that God enters their context, takes on their flesh, and identifies with their suffering. This is not an innovation. It is the return to the logic of the incarnation itself. If God became human, then God became a particular human. And that human for the African believer must be recognizable as one of their own.
A stranger in 100 rooms, but love found me when I stopped trying to change it. Love me or let me go. Love me or let me go. I've made my peace. Stay or don't. Used to think love was something you earned, something you begged for, something you chased. But love is a table, not a trophy. It's already set. You just have to sit down. The way, the only way, the way home. Help me, I've done and tried all I know. Help me, I've done and tried all I know.
The white Jesus is not a harmless tradition. It is a weapon that has been lodged in the African soul for centuries. Removing it is not an act of vandalism. It is an act of spiritual sovereignty. Remove the white Jesus from your home, your church, your imagination, not as an act of hatred, as an act of honesty. Replace it with an image of Christ that reflects your own people. Teach your children the history. Tell them how Jesus became white. Support African Christian art. Commission images of the gospel in African forms. And ask your pastor the hard question. Does the incarnation mean that God looks like the people he saves? Or only like the people who conquered?
When the swallowing was done, falling down so low, the ground felt high. I've called out names and heard no reply, but something kept breathing when I was too tired to try. A spark in the rib cage, a flicker behind the eye. So I held on, not because I'm strong, because the breath wouldn't leave, and the breath was enough, and the breath was the song. You don't have to believe, you don't have to see, just hold on.
The colonizer understood something the church is still afraid to admit.
Doesn't explain itself.
Control the image of God and you control the soul of the believer. The white Jesus is not a harmless painting, it is a weapon. The sovereign mind removes the weapon. The sovereign faith reclaims the image. God is not white. God was not born on a Roman holiday. And the faith does not need the empire's permission to celebrate its own Savior.